NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is making the case for voting orange as polling shows the party is at risk of being squeezed out by the Liberals and the Conservatives.
If you vote for enough of us and we're able to form government, I would be honored to serve as Prime Minister. People will choose the outcome of this election. I'm encouraging people to vote for as many New Democrats as you can, because that's the only way you'll have someone that's actually going to fight for you, to stand up for things that matter for you and your family. Thank you.
Well, that is the leader on the campaign trail. Here's the latest numbers out this morning. New polling showing by Nanos Research shows that the Liberals are in the lead at 42.7%. That's followed by the Conservatives at 38.1%. The NDP are in a distant third at 8.1% support. So if an election were held today, analysts say the NDP would be on track to perhaps lose official party status, and Jagmeet Singh could lose in his own riding. So for more on where the NDP stand on day 17 of this campaign, it's not over till it's over, we are joined from Ottawa by Kathleen Monk, principal owner of Monk & Associates and the former director of communications to the late Jack Layton. Good morning, Kathleen.
Good morning, Anne-Marie. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm curious to know how the NDP are doing, though. Support for the party and for the party's leader. Go ahead.
Yeah, listen, we've been in this state before. Even back in 2011, when I worked for Jack Layton, people predicted our party's demise. It's almost like a national pastime, but it's not going to happen. And that's because when you think about our country, and particularly our politics, what differentiates us really from America, the person that we're in, the country we're in the biggest fight with right now, is the policies that New Democrats have brought to the table. So I'm optimistic. I'm not predicting our death. In fact, quite the opposite. Canadians want a party in Parliament right now that's going to protect them when the threat of Trump and tariffs and stock markets going bananas. Who's going to protect them and their pocketbook? And that's always been the NDP.
Some observers say that the NDP's previous supply and confidence agreement with the Liberals led voters to associate the party too closely with former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Yet on policy, NDP priorities, and you think about this, including dental care, progress on pharmacare, an anti-replacement worker bill, and sustainable jobs legislation, those were all achieved through that deal. So why then is the support not leaning more to the NDP? Why are they not getting credit? Or why are they not gaining the support that you think would come from getting this stuff through? Because, you know, as we've said, these are things that Jack Layton would have dreamed to have brought to Canadians, and Jagmeet Singh was able to do it. So why is he not getting the support?
Certainly, I agree with you, but voters aren't really that transactional. They don't think about, you know, what is achieved in Parliament always, and that is always going to drive their vote. But what voters do say to pollsters of every stripe is that they actually want politicians to work together. They actually hire politicians every 4, sometimes 3 or 5 years to go to Parliament Ottawa and to get things done. And they like it when politicians cooperate. And that's exactly what New Democrats did in the last Parliament. They cooperated with other parties to, for the first time in decades, actually expand our healthcare system with pharmacare, getting free birth control to women who need it, and also free diabetes drugs, things like dental care, people who haven't been able to fix their teeth in so long. Canadians want to see that happen, you know, and that's why I think New Democrats in these last 2.5 weeks of the campaign, there's still more than half of this election left to go. I have to make that case, you know, that New Democrats, when they're in Parliament, actually get things done for you. You know, all the parties, Anne-Marie, like they all agree on how to deal with Trump. You know, they all agree that they want to have retaliatory tariffs. They want to protect workers. What they don't agree is how we protect ourselves for the next 4 years from this madman in the States.
I want to ask you about messaging, because this election feels very different. In the past, you clearly understood and knew how to choose for what a Conservative voter would look like, a Liberal, and an NDP. Talk to me about how the Conservatives' methodology of going in and taking support from Labour and from unions has hurt the NDP, and why people who traditionally would support the NDP party as the people who were the voice for them have gone to the other side of the spectrum and are leaning towards Conservatives.
Listen, it's a good day for workers across the country when all parties are fighting for workers' issues. You know, I see that trend globally, frankly, everywhere across the world. People are now turning to this cohort of voters, who work for every day. Not just the millionaires and the billionaires are being courted for their vote, and that's really important. But when it comes back to record of which parties actually support workers? Which parties have voted time and time again for an increased minimum wage, for paid sick days, for the right to strike, and frankly, the right not to have a collective agreement, or frankly, your wage be lowered? Time and time again, Conservatives have pushed bad deals on workers and actually worked against their interests. So if people are actually going to make that their defining reason as to who they vote, if they're going to back a worker party or not, we've seen millions of workers back New Democrats in this current election and in past elections, and I expect them to do so in the future as well. That said, it doesn't surprise me that Conservatives, Liberals are courting this vote. These are Canadians. People who earn a paycheck also get the right to vote at the ballot, and I'm frankly pleased and happy when any party is looking at more policies that affect average people.
Kathleen Monk, great to have you as part of this conversation. Thanks for joining us from Ottawa today.
Thanks so much.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.